Hi everyone, I'm very happy because for this masterclass we have a very special guest. Her name is Ligia Leite and she is a mindset coach and aligned action strategist. And she's here to talk to us about our mindset and how to arrive to success. So thank you so much, Ligia, for being with us.
Thank you, my pleasure.
So just a bit to explain why we decided to talk about this. First, talking about mindset, sometimes people get confused on all this hippie idea on just thinking of positive things and not doing anything else. What I love about you is that actually you teach us to think and to create a great mindset, to be ready, to get ready, and then to put it into action so we can actually get results. Because sometimes it doesn't matter if you think every day in the morning, all the good things that happen to you or your, your grateful list or whatever it is. If you don't do things, all the mindset can get stuck there and then you might stop feeling empowered with energy, and even you can become super sad because you're not looking at any result. And us as immigrants, we need to have our mindset, a very strong mindset. So the stronger we are on our mindset, the better it's gonna be for us in any kind of things that we want to overcome and succeed in. So Ligia, I leave you the stage.
Thank you. Yes, and you touched on such an important part already, which is the action part. And this is why I love to combine mindset, energy work, but always translating that into action. So how we can make it practical. And today I plan on giving you guys a few steps and just a blueprint of an actual exercise that you can do as part of your mindset work. If you don't have a mindset routine, something you can integrate. So you translate all those feelings and intentions into practice. And like you said, actually do something about it, right? So we can start by, if you're not familiar with mindset work in depth, what that means, why that's important, this is a way that I like to explain that I think it's really clear, is when you look at your results and when you look at the reality you are experiencing, right? So the numbers, where you are, the visa situation, which let's not even get there, but let's not even go there for now. But stuff that we've all been through, right? So we know that all these pieces of the reality you are experiencing, let's call it the outcome, the external things, that's all the stuff that we want to change. So when you think about moving, starting a life abroad, starting your own business, changing your income, changing all these external pieces, that's usually how we go about the process. Where we go straight to the things we want to change. So you think, okay, I want to change my job. So you go to the job. You want to change your career. You go to the career. And I know it sounds obvious, but I have a point. I promise. You see all these things that you might be unhappy with, and we go straight to them and try to change them. The thing is, there's a thing called the mirror effect. And mirror effect is, there's a lot to it. There's a lot on how that plays a role in our interactions with other people. But for the purposes of this masterclass, mirror effect can also be the way you look at your external reality. So what I mean is, the things we try to change, that being your location, your relationships, your jobs, all these things in your reality, are just a reflection of your mindset, of who you see yourself to be and the things you are available for. Most importantly, the things you decide to be available for. And I'll dive deeper into mindset so we can break it down and let this even more clear. But it's always a reflection of those things. So when you look at a mirror, and let's say you don't like what you see. So right now you wake up, you look in the mirror, or whenever, if it's for you, but you just look in the mirror and you don't like what you see. What would make the most sense? And here's my question to you. What would make the most sense for you to try and shake the mirror and punch the mirror and try to change the image that you're seeing just reflected back to you? Or would you go to the source of the image that is just being reflected and change that? So would you change your hair physically, or would you shake the mirror and punch the mirror and say, look different? And that's what we do. That's what we do, and where a lot of us get caught up when trying to change the results we are getting. That might be in your business, in your life and life abroad, and all the pieces involved in that moving. But we try and change the things, and we often forget that they are just a reflection. So that's why it's so important to take a step back and work on your mindset, because your mindset is going to be the source of that reflection. Your mindset is what's setting the tone for the things you're going to experience, and not the other way around. And once you get that, you start to manifest things a lot faster with a lot more ease and flow, because you just get the rhythm, or you know what you need to change in order for you to get the results you want to see, instead of going and trying to shake the mirror. Does that make sense?
Well, you don't, like, when you get up in the morning and you go to the bathroom, or like your hair is horrible, your face is like this. So you don't start hitting the mirror. You fix yourself, you have a shower, you brush your teeth, etc.
Exactly. And in terms of mindset, that's the mindset work. That's showing up for your own energy, showing up for the way you're feeling, to choose an intention for the day, to really realign and think, okay, who is the person that I need to be to make this work? Who is that version of me that is already living in that dream city with a dream job in the perfect house? So all that vision, you need to embody that version of you first. So that's the importance of mindset work and where it plays out. So when you think of mindset, a really easy way to break it down, it's mindset is the way you think, feel, and act. Think, feel, act. And that's the foundation that is going to determine and set the tone for those results. That's called the reflection. So this is determining what the mirror looks like. And it's the way you think, feel, act. So this is what needs to be really in alignment with your vision and with your goals. That's for personal, for business, for anything really. But it's when you find that alignment between the think, feel, act, that you are in tune with the vision that you want to bring to your experience. So when you have these dreams of what your life is going to look like abroad, what the career that you want to bring, your personal life, and the time and the work-life balance and the finances, all these pieces that you're creating, you need to be a match to those things in both sides, practical and energy. And that's because that's my approach. I always love to combine practical and the spiritual side. So I can explain, long story short, really simple, how this practical and energy alignment kind of comes up. And so if you need to be in alignment and a match to that version of you and to that vision in practical terms, that means that you need to align the way you think, feel, act, right? So you need to align your belief system, the think. You need to align the feelings that you experience throughout your day, and you need to align the actions. So how do you show up, the actions that you do take, how you walk, how you talk, who do you talk to, all these actions that you take throughout the day also, these are all in alignment with that vision. So you're taking action in doing all these things coming from a place of, okay, I'm there already. You embody the version of you that already has it. And then you start to show up and think, feel, act like that version. So you're in alignment and not coming from that place of, I wish I had that, or I'm working towards that. Not even that, but you're doing all the think, feel, act coming from the place of the end result, coming from that vision. So then you're in alignment from the practical standpoint. In energy terms, and I'm going to try to not go super deep with energy talk today, which is what I love to do. But a really easy way to see that is if you know the basics of vibration, and that's quantum physics. We're not going to go into details, but everything has a vibration. If you touch the table, my crystal, That's I always have it with me when I'm talking. If my hands, everything has a vibration. If you put anything under a microscope, you will see the little molecules vibrating. Water, everything vibrates, including your intentions, your mood. If you measure the sound waves, and it's not sound waves, it's the vibration of the space around you. When you're happy, when you're sad, they vibrate in different frequencies. So these are all, and this is practical, this is science, right? I say energy work, and I think people tend to think, you know, the crazy incense lady. This is not what I mean, unless that's your jam. But but this is really proven, right? And really practical in a way as well. So we're talking about frequencies, and you can look at the reality you experience and your vision on the same terms. So right now, you're just like a radio, and you can tune into these different frequencies. So you can tune into a frequency where you experience different things and feelings and have different ideas and live a different life. But it might be that just now you're tuning to another one. So more than creating the life you want, a way that I like to put it with my clients is more about you shifting to the vibration that you prefer, because those things actually already exist. The city you want to live in, you're not founding and creating and you know, you're not putting people and, you know, colonizing the place, right? It exists, it's there, it's available. The plane you're gonna get on, it's already there. You just need to buy the ticket. You're not inventing the method of, so all these things, when you actually break down your vision, they are available. The money that you want is already circulating. So everything you want to bring into your experience is already there. It's more of there's a specific vibration where all these things are combined to bring forth that vision that you want. So how can you shift to that specific vibration? And long story short, there's a lot of energy work involved on how you can raise your vibration to match that exact frequency of that version. But long story short is about the feelings, so it's also in the think, feel, act, is about the emotions, it's about how you feel, because these feelings have a specific vibration. So if your vision, when you see yourself abroad, living the dream, living your best life, and you think, okay, that vision, that reality exists, it's available, but it's just vibrating in a certain frequency. What is that frequency? And how can I tune myself into that?
That same one.
Exactly. And then we go to the feelings. How would that make you feel? And then you start to tap into the feelings already. The key here is, if you want the financial stability, your money goals, to feel secure in your move, because you're changing a lot of things in your life, and that's understandable. We all want that sense, but what will it happen? And with the career and with so if the feeling that you're seeking there is security, the key is to find the things that make you feel secure already, regardless. And then you become a vibrational match. That's when you raise a vibration, because see that in practical terms, we have these labels of the things that are big and important and the big moves and the things that are small. But in terms of vibration, there's no such thing. It's just frequencies. So if you want to feel nurtured, for example, and like you show up for yourself, you take care of yourself, going to a spa in a 5-star resort for 12 days is just vibrating the same frequency of you right now just lighting a scented candle. There's no big or small, but what's important here is the frequency they are vibrating in. So when you start to get really clear on the feelings that you would get from that vision, so imagine your dream life, that dream day, what do you feel? How that would make you feel? And then you can break down, okay, when you have the feelings, what are the things you can do already to bring that same sort of sensation? And then you start to become a vibrational match. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But I was just thinking, what if, for example, because everything that you say sounds actually easy, because the more that we know what we want to have in our life, the better it will be for us to vibrate in the same frequency that we want.
Yes.
But sometimes the reality is that some people who moved into another country, or maybe something happened, not only those who just arrived to another country, but they spent a time in that country, and somehow they start feeling again insecure, or less motivated, or not sure about the things that they did, or actually they are looking at their lives like they didn't achieve anything.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's even super hard to know what you really want.
Right.
How?
To craft a vision, right? Then we
Yeah.
take even a step back. It is not about just bringing that vision to your experience, but what is the vision even?
Yeah, exactly.
And here's my question. So if that comes up, you can always ask yourself, am I focused on the house, the actual things, or the way I'm feeling? Because a lot of times we're so caught up in the things that we experience that we forget that the whole point of us even wanting those things is how we think they will make us feel. If it's a money goal, for example, in this transition, and you have it on your life, or you're planning to move, and you have to adjust your income goals as well, right, to support all these changes. And when you look at your money goals, I doubt that you just want the money. So when you say, okay, and then I want to bring, 10K months, I doubt that what you mean is just the number 10,000 in your bank account if you wouldn't do anything with it. And if the things you would do with it wouldn't bring you any sort of value. If it's just the money for the money, no, that's not what we mean. So when you set a money goal, what is the purpose there? What is your real desire behind it? So is it for the freedom because you're going to stay home, spend more time with your kids, or because you're going to travel to this and that place, and that would make you feel confident or accomplished or have fun? So see that money is just the resource, because at the end of the day, you want money to fill in the blank. Mm-hmm. Do you want to feel free, secure, fun? Do you want to enjoy your time? Whatever those feelings and emotions are, see that we just want the money to, at the end of the day, feel like X, feel like fill in the blank. So when you think of the things, the details of your vision, we can look at it the same way. So more than the things, and that takes a lot of the pressure of you overthinking the choices, the thing, the house, the job, and what these things look like. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the things. It's about how they make us feel. So the one thing you can start to gain clarity on, and kind of the way to start, is look at the feelings first. How do you want to feel? And then go from there. So you can start to craft that vision. And if you know that the feeling you want is of real freedom, when you start to plan your career, you can come from that place and then see, okay, what would that look like? But not the other way around. When we look at the career options, we look at the job opportunities, and we go from that place first to then think about the feelings. That's when frustration comes up and we're not really fulfilled, because if you start to think about it, it's very unlikely that we would, even when we go to the things and to the result. Again, we're going to the reflection first instead of changing the mirror, or understanding what that mirror looks like, what the source of that image looks like.
And also think of your feelings and your feelings only, because a lot of people might have received a lot of messages from a lot of others saying you are an immigrant and you don't deserve this, or no, forget about it, you as an immigrant, you're going to stay there forever, you're not going to do more, or you're in that position that you want in that job, forget about it, that's for nationals only.
Right.
And we start believing all those things, and we don't even try to get them. Even if we want them, we don't even try, because we believe the other things. We believe them. We believe that we are not supposed to have a great house, have a car, travel a lot, have a wonderful life, because some people migrated
because it's not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reality is that the majority of the people migrates from unfortunate circumstances.
Right.
So they already come into other countries feeling a very low energy, which was
Mm-hmm.
something that you were talking about. And it's hard for them to refine the things that inspire them or they really want. So what you're
Right.
mentioning about the feelings, it's not about how your friends or family members or are gonna feel, is the way you're gonna feel, so you can transmit it to the others and make them feel better as well. Because if you are feeling angry, sad, frustrated, demoralized, whatever other terrible sensation could be, you're passing it to the others, right?
Right. And see, and I love how this just clicks, because you see that it becomes extra important for you to show up for yourself, for your energy, and build a routine for mindset work. You need to do mindset work and have that connection with yourself, where you check in with the way you're feeling, set your intentions to the way you want to feel, work through the things that don't serve you anymore, whatever that's a limiting belief or something that is dragging you down. You journal about it and you let it go, but you work through these things. All these practices that are, part of mindset work become extra important, because what you're saying is the belief system. If you believe that it's not for you because someone told you, because the examples that you saw, or for whatever reason, but if you don't believe that it's truly possible for you, is that really in alignment with the belief system of that version of you that has it? It's probably not. So if the version of you has the job, has the house, has the car, and leaves whatever and travels the world, what is the belief system of that version? And that's what you want to align with. Because if your current beliefs are, well, I doubt that I can, but it might be too much work, it's not for me, I'm not deserving, and I'm not worthy, that gap becomes really, really clear when you start to break down, what does that version think? What are her or his beliefs about the possibilities, about the career, about how capable you are, about your skills, about all that? And then if you list down, and I can guide you through the exercise, because this is a really simple step-by-step, but it becomes really clear because you write down, well, that version of me, right, would think making money is really easy, because that's just natural and it happens and it's part of her life, right? And then I think, okay, wait a minute, is that what I truly believe right now? Or right now I'm still like, maybe, but it's still a lot of work. You see the gap. You just see, then the money goal is one example, but you just see how your current beliefs might not be in alignment with that version of you. And if that's the case, you're gonna struggle and go around in circles and feel like, that's when we feel like we do a lot and work hard but not go anywhere. Because see, it's not about the action. Again, you're trying to shake the mirror and punch the mirror. So when you feel like things are forceful and you're having to do a lot and too hard, it's not about the action. Let's take a step back. And why is this so pushy and forceful? Why it has to be so hard? And it's the lack of alignment. So when you go back, you take a step back to the think, feel, act, what there is not in full alignment with that vision, so then you can overcome in filling the gaps. Yeah. When you find that full alignment, there is no forceful energy having to push and leave blood, sweat, and tears on the table, because you're not trying to overcompensate anything with action. You're just in alignment, so it goes with flow. So here's what we want to do, is find that think, feel, act in alignment with that vision, even if you don't know the specifics of that vision yet, but you're tapping into the feelings. So little by little, you're getting clarity on it also.
This goes to any kind of circumstances. I was just thinking about seniors saying, well, I'm going off the topic because we are all immigrants, but there might be seniors who are immigrants and they believe that they won't be able to find love, for example, or something like that, because they are too old. And
like that's not for me anymore.
Yeah, right. And it's not that they are sad. They just conform themselves with what they have in that moment. Or for example, other people who have other jobs and they go, this is kind of one of my master classes, they go and do their job from 9 to 5. They go back and they receive a salary, and they are not the happiest people in the world. Actually, they are not motivated to do it, but they stay there because of the salary, because of the compensations, because it's stable. They receive a monthly amount. So that doesn't mean that you're really happy or that you're vibrating into the things that you deserve.
Right. And it just takes, it's a shift of paradigm, really, because you shift the ways you perceive your reality, the things you see as available, and which leads me to that question: what are you available for? Because it's just like you said, are you available for the job, for love, for whatever it is? But what are you available for? And that's what you get to redefine by reprogramming the think, feel, act.
Mm-hmm.
So the emotions you feel, the things, your beliefs, the actions, the way you show up, all these things redefine what you are available for. And this is something we get to decide way more than we think, because we're usually on just reaction mode, and we go about our day. Or even if you set goals, you set your goal, but then you go about your day and you deal with what comes up, and you go with, an opportunity comes and you just deal with that. But you're not actually taking a step back and choosing, this is how I want to feel. This is where I want to go. We get to do that. Mm-hmm. And it just takes a bit of reframing. So one example that I love is, if right now you just open your bank account and there's $10,000, euro, whatever your currency is, that someone made a random deposit to you. You don't know who they are. You have no idea what the money is. It's just there. 10K with a note. Thank you. I'm really grateful. So here it is. So it's not like you're stealing either. Someone is just grateful and wanting to give you money. What would be your first gut reaction?
This is wrong.
Right. Exactly. Your body language, so you probably already, just hearing me say this, probably we went already, or cringing, or you would say like, no, this is not for me. So what are you available for? When it comes to money, for example, even if that's your money goal, or you want to bring more money and you have the strategy down on paper, if this is the sort of relationship that we have with the energy of money, with money coming your way, and the 10Ks is just an example, kind of a more extreme example, but when you find money around the house, do you leave it? Do you throw it anyways? Or just you take a coin and you feel grateful? Mm-hmm. Or you just say, okay, never mind. Are you neglecting your bank account? Do you avoid looking at the numbers in details because I don't even want to see what's going on there? So all these things are just showing you the things you're available for. So you can't say something on paper, but have a neon sign on your head saying something else. So you can't say, yes, I would like more money. But then your actions and the energy you're putting out say no. Because if money would actually come your way right now, like I described, most of us would say, no, take it back. It's someone else's. Mm-hmm. So how is that really being available for money? And this is something you can apply to any other area of your life. So the things you say you want, are you truly in alignment with them and truly available for them? Or is it more the stuff we say we want, but our actions and our energy are not translating that?
Or you're simply never ready.
Right. Unless you take a step back to see that, acknowledge, and then choose to reframe. And then you can choose to reframe, okay, I'm never going to be ready. I'm never going to be perfect. It's never going to be the ideal time. But now that I know that this is an impulse, this is my autopilot, next time it comes up, I don't have to wait for perfection to take action, because I can look at it and remember that, okay, that's just my autopilot. So all these things you can reframe by just looking at it. That's the power of doing mindset work.
Or saying like, there's a lot of people, I don't know if you have any clients like that, but there's a position or a job opportunity, something that is going to be very good for them and their evolution as a professional. Mm-hmm. And they are stuck and they say, for example, No, because I need to speak English, or I need to speak French, and my French or my English are not very good right now. So first I need to go to l'Alliance Française, or to the American Institute, to polish my languages before I. So anytime there's an excuse, anytime they are not ready, anytime they know there's something else that they have to do before, and it's like like a roll, the hamster roll, they're
Yeah.
running. They can look at it in front of them, but they don't reach it.
Right. Because like you said, it might not be a conscious excuse that they sit down and plan, okay, let me see the excuse that I can come up with now, but it happens. And one way you can break that cycle is just asking yourself, and if you're familiar with journaling, if you have a journaling practice, that's something that I do every morning, and my clients do as well. So you take prompts, and prompts are just suggestions, questions, things to trigger a reflection on something that you might be blocking or resisting. So one that you can ask yourself is, what do I really fear? What is my fear in this? Or what am I resisting? So with the job, for example, that might be good for you, and it's a chance that you can take. If you think you need the language, but I don't have the skills, but I don't have the experience, but someone else and a native would be more qualified or a better suit for this. Instead of going that way, just ask yourself, what do I really fear? What is my fear here? And it's most likely not going to be the grammar or the verb that you will spell wrong. So it's not the language, is it? Mm-hmm. What is your real fear? So, and then see what comes up from there. But see that you're already taking that step back to reframe part of the think, feel, act.
And now you're mentioning again the think, feel, act.
Uh-huh.
I was about to suggest one step before that is be responsible, because
take responsibility for your damn situation and feelings. Yeah.
And that's the first one, because if you take responsibility on how you're going to start living your life from now on, then you're going to think better, you're going to feel better, and then you're going to take action better, right? Because again, it's not that we are lazy, it's not that we are not in the possibilities of doing it, it's that fear, as you were saying, put us in such a
resistance.
Yeah, a resistance. A resistance of changing, that we don't realize that we are not taking responsibility of our life, and then there comes the blaming in to other people, or complaining about, oh yeah, but here this country sucks because in my country I have this and that and that. Like,
again, if you ask yourself, instead of complaining about the things you don't like, what am I resisting? So is it really that the food sucks, or am I resisting a change because I fear that I won't adapt? And this is all stuff that comes up when you just explore and ask yourself those questions. So another thing that just came to my mind as you were saying this is, a lot of times when things, I would say all of times actually, and here's a little truth bomb, but when things don't happen, when you don't see the result, you don't see moving forward, when things don't happen, it's not about the circumstances, the skills, the people, the country, the food, the currency, or whatever else. It's because you haven't truly decided. And I know that some people listening might feel, no, but I do want it. And that's not what I mean. Wanting and wishing, desire, does not equal truly, fully, 100% deciding. So on a conscious level, you might think you have decided because you set a goal and you say, I want this. This is your ego speaking. This is on a conscious level. You say you want this. But if your think, feel, act is not in full alignment, you haven't fully decided. Because you might say in your head, I want this. But if your beliefs still say you can't have this, you're not worthy, you're not qualified, have you truly, truly decided? Or is it when you shift that and you say, you know what, I do deserve it? That's when you decide.
Boom. It's because we don't
Boom.
want boom. We don't want to get the, like, we don't want to work more for this. Like, we are already working a lot. We are already staying at our jobs and our office longer than it should, or we are already taking the English or French or whatever other
Right.
language lessons. So, but yeah, deciding it.
Yeah. And part of the decision is subconscious. So it's your autopilot, is the stuff that you just never took the time to take a step back, sit down and actually choose. So when things are being a struggle, I doubt that we sit down and say, I'm choosing right now that today will suck and it will be really, really hard for me to achieve my goals. That's not what we do. So of course you haven't decided that it will be hard, that you won't get there. That is not, but here's my point. These things are just going the way they're going because of the autopilot you've allowed, because the things that are your unconscious patterns, the fears and conditioning that comes up that are just running. So the fears of not being enough, the fear of, or just listening to others more than to yourself, or the doubt of, can I really do it, can I not? So all these things are just coming from conditioning, and because we haven't really stopped to look at them. So they are your autopilot, unconscious patterns. But the thing is, the moment you make an unconscious pattern conscious, which means the moment you just acknowledge that, you take away its power, because now it's not your autopilot anymore, is it? It can be automatic if you just stop the process and see that's going on. So here's the thing with truly deciding. It's not that consciously you're not fully deciding, but there might be things in the think, feel, act there. So AKA in your mindset that are not in alignment. And until they're not, you're not going to be that full decision that just makes, you drop the struggle. Mm-hmm. So it's acknowledging those things. Just taking a step back to, with mindset work, acknowledge what you're resisting. What are your fears? What are your doubts? And those blocks, that resistance is what might be causing you to not fully decide, conscious and unconscious.
But what happens, for example, I'm going to give you this example because it's super common. A lot of immigrants, myself in those, are waiting to be able to sponsor their parents. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of processes that are not in our hands. Actually, the only action that we can take is every year at a time and a date, put our information there and wait for the government to say if we were elected or not, or if we have to wait until the next year. While we are going into that little mini process, we are just running, typing immediately, and super anxious to get it, and praying to all gods and all universes to get it. And then we don't. And then, we are going to try it next year. So you see, the only action that we can do is that one. What else can we do? Or is there, do we need also to know or to learn where to stop, where to be okay with all the things that we've done?
Right. I mean, if you tap on the feelings, and the feelings you're going to have regardless, that already lowers your resistance, because you kind of take the thing off the pedestal. As important as they might be, here's one of, I think, the most important, golden nuggets of mindset, and at least for me, was to just look at my goals like this. So when you say you really, really want something, you're also saying you really, really don't have it. And when you create that gap, there's a resistance. You really want something, and that would give me that, and then people would do this and experience. So you put this thing on a pedestal, and that creates that gap, that resistance, that thing. And then it always feels like a struggle. Is not that natural. Now, when you tap into that version of you that already did it, that already has it, that's just part of their life. It's just so normal, and they did it already. So there's no resistance there. How do they feel instead? And see that the way that they look at the same process might be sponsoring your parents. They probably look at it from a very different angle. and feeling a lot different, because we might look at it as this thing that I want to achieve and it's so and hard and like that. Now, for the version of you that already did it, they look at it with maybe gratitude or something they can be excited about, something that feels nice, and see how that feels a lot lighter. Yeah. So here's the mindset shift that you need, is how you can tap into that version of you that already has it through the think, feel, act. What are their thoughts instead? And then you compare to your current thoughts. You might think, this government paperwork, this sucks, and this, and all these things. And then again, just compare with that version of you that already did it. What do they think instead? Probably different things, different beliefs. They think it's possible. They're grateful for it. It's something that they can feel excited about. So again, we're in the feel part. If that's something that they're grateful and excited about, and right now you're just frustrated as hell, here's a gap. So it's always embodying that version of you that already has it, because that lowers the resistance. That gap that you had with that goal that is here on the pedestal, suddenly it's not there anymore, because it's like it's already done. That's what the act as if, that quote, that there's a lot more to it that people say a lot, is act as if. I would rephrase it and just embody it until you have it. Be that person already. Feel the feelings regardless.
Yeah. So, and I believe this is where you were talking about the frequency that in the radio station, maybe we are already there for an instance. Maybe we're already feeling it, that we finally got to bring our parents or our beloved ones. And suddenly we say, no, this is going to be impossible.
Exactly. Right. Now, if like the radio and frequency, you're tuning to that frequency of feeling grateful and happy and fulfilled and excited. And that's the frequency of your feelings, your experiences. So everything that is a vibrational match to this frequency is there, including the reality where you're already sponsoring your parents and all of that. Now, when you're vibrating somewhere else, and it's the frustration, is the lack, is that I wish I had that, but I don't, the struggle to get there, and that gap, you can see that that's a very different frequency, very different feelings. And from that space, you can't experience the things that are vibrating in a different, just a different frequency. You're like here. So one quick experiment to make this really clear that we can do right now. So, and you guys can do this as you watch as well, but we're going to do right now. So look around you and look for the color blue. Just look for the color blue, memorize it everywhere you see the color blue.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, memorize it?
Yeah.
Okay, now close your eyes for a second and think of where you can see the color red. And then you can open your eyes.
Okay.
How easy was that?
Somehow impossible.
So see that this just comes to show the power of tuning into the right frequency and what it does to your focus, and ultimately how that changes your experience. If you're just so focused on the blue, 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 the red might be actually in front of your face, you're not going to see it. And here's the same thing with frequency. So if you tune into the frequency of that reality you prefer, of your goals, of sponsoring your parents, of the dream, the people, the ideas, the inspiration, the doors, the opportunity for those things to happen are here. They are available, but they're vibrating somewhere else. If you're vibrating in a different frequency, you're not going to see that. And it's not like these things are going to fall on your lap by miracle, but even I'm going to talk to this person, here's what I'm going to say, the way I'm going to say it, the opportunities to get there are also in that vibration. So it's not until you can get your frequency there that you're not going to see the ways to get there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. So for us to be able to recap, because I believe it sounds easy, it sounds fascinating, but at the same time, I believe it's somehow difficult to start. So right. What could be the next 3 steps that we can implement as we finish this masterclass?
Right. So I'm going to give you guys a recipe for tuning into the frequency of that vision, of that ideal version of you that already has it all, that is living the life, how we can do that, aligning the think, feel, act. So a little exercise that you can do is journal, just write about your ideal day. What would an ideal day feel like? What would it look like? And you can describe that in the details. So for example, for mine, I describe where I wake up, how the bed feels, how it smells. When I open the window, the kind of view that I see, the kind of products that I use in the shower, because I like things that smell good and feel nice. So that's for me. But just the smallest details, and then how I feel at work, the things I eat, the things I see, the people that are around me. Just brainstorm, this is a creative, so no pressure there. But just think, what would a really good day feel like? And what would it look like? Then from that vision, you can break the think, feel, act. And you can break those categories down. So journal about this vision, this ideal day. Now we're going to tune into that version of you that is living that day, that has that's part of their life. That's normal, default, normal Monday. That's part of their life, something they have. That person, that version of you, let's break down the belief system. So the think column, and then you can have a page for your think. What are the thoughts that go through their mind throughout the day? What are the things that they must believe to be true to have that day? So do they think it's hard and impossible? Do they think it's normal? What do they think they're capable of doing? What kind of thoughts just go through their mind when they're dealing with money or job or paperwork? What kind of thoughts go through their head? And that's going to be the belief system of that version. So you can explore and really see it as a character. That's not you. You can see that person, visualize that person, and picture, just creative exercise. Okay, what must they believe to be true? What do they think? And explore that. Same thing with the feelings. Mm-hmm. So you take the feelings and think, okay, what kind of emotions and sensations and feelings that person experiences during the day when they go about their day. And also with the actions. So for the act column or page, you can explore the ways that they show up, the smallest things that they do. Do they leave tips? Do they call a friend? I mean, the smallest things in business. For example, I go live a lot to do workshops. So in my vision, it's she goes live this many times a week because it's just part of that successful version of me. So what are the smallest actions that they do throughout the day? And then you have the think, feel, act. Now to do something about it, here's what you can do. From the think column, you have the thoughts and beliefs of that version. Choose a few, the ones that you resonate the most with, and repeat it every day. That can be part of your mindset work. If you have a mindset routine, write it down. It doesn't have to be 100 times. I write it down once every morning. But every day I connect to that feeling and connect to that same vibration because I write it down. So it's way easier for you to start really integrating those beliefs when it's something that you tell your subconscious over and over again. Mm-hmm. So this is something you can do is from that think list, choose a few or one even, and repeat it every day to really connect. Then the feeling is, I think, my favorite one because it's just fun. When you have clarity on the feelings that version of you experiences, choose a few and think of, like we were saying, the other things that you can do that also bring you this type of feeling. So if the feelings that come up for you is joy, I want to feel joyful and happy. What are the other things, whatever things that you can do already that bring you joy? Might be listening to a specific playlist, dancing, playing with a kid, petting your dog, walking outside, whatever that is. But start to gain clarity and commit to doing the things that bring you that same feeling, right? And then for the last one, the actions. When you start to break down the actions in detail and see that they don't have to be big. They can be the way you dress, the way you put your hair, if you wear makeup or not, the smallest things. But those are the actions of that version. So your job is to just every day choose one thing and commit to doing every day. And that way you're from the energy standpoint, you're vibrating the frequency of that vision. And from a practical standpoint, scientifically, you're reprogramming your belief system, your subconscious, your autopilot. So those things start to be what you integrate and what's normal for you as well. So here's something you can do.
That's too much homework to do, but I believe it's worth it. And as you were saying, even if we start with just one element every day, just for us to feel that we are starting taking responsibility and then start applying these 3 steps, I believe it's going to create a muscle. At the beginning, you don't start with 1,000 push-ups. You start with maybe 5, and celebrate that. You started with 5, and then you're going to continue with 10, and maybe someday you're going to reach your 2,000 push-ups, and it's going to be easier to you.
Definitely. And consistency is in the flexibility. So if this becomes something heavy that you need to do, and I need to take my action or write my affirmation, then it doesn't work. I mean, allow yourself also to skip a day, to one day you don't do the affirmation, but you think about the feeling, and you see that it's fine. It's completely fine to play around with it, see what feels good on the day, what you need to do today. Actually, today I just feel like meditating because I'm feeling off and I don't even want to read my think, feel, act list. That's also fine. But what's important is that you're practicing that muscle of connecting to yourself, to your own energy, connecting to the vibration and the practical side of that version of you, and embodying that version. So over time, you're conditioning a habit. Yeah. And like the muscle exercise is perfect, because what you would think is best is to work out every day for 10 minutes or go to the gym for 5 hours once a month. And then you stop after 1 year. It doesn't make any sense. So these are all just the resources that you can have. So you have that library, you have a database of resources, things you can do to embody that version. So then when you feel like doing it, and when you commit to showing up, might be every morning, that would be perfect. But of course, it's a muscle. Yeah. When you show up to work on your mindset, you don't have to brainstorm or look for practices or think, how am I going to do this? How can I be that person? You just have it all already. And this is the point. When you think, okay, I need to feel my best, I need to align my mindset, it's really easy if you have this list. Oh, think, feel, act. So you can come and choose. That makes it like that. And when you have those resources, then there's no excuse, because you feel like going there. It feels nice. It feels good.
Yeah, totally. I'm super grateful, for instance, for having had the pleasure to discuss this with you. Thank you so much for having shared all your knowledge and your experience and such a great energy to our community. I'm very happy that you're part of our board of experts at the moment.
Thank you.
Because I believe mindset is one of the most elementary things that we need to have as immigrants. Of course, as human beings, but as immigrants, this is something that we have to remember as much as possible, so we can actually get to have the life that we always wanted to live. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It was fun.
I'm going to be able to see you at the meet and greet party, right?
Yes, I'm flying. I'm flying back from Belgium that evening. It's 10 p.m. for me, so I'm flying.
Yeah, anyway.
But I hope I can connect with everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So if ever someone has any question, please send it over, because we are going to have Ligia at our reach. Either, for example, if you want to contact her in the member zone, you will be able to do that. Thank you again, and see you next time.
You're so welcome, and thank you for having me. It was really fun. I love to talk about these topics, and I hope everyone got value from it.
Yeah, that's for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.